Sports on Air.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Slambook Sports here on Sports on Air. My name is Cara Pinay Wrestler Malyonga.
And I am Rika Baby Dynamite Aquino.
And this is
Slambook. Slambook Sports. Yes, Miga, how are you tonight?
I'm okay. I'm wearing pink. I think this is a very special episode. Kasi nag-English kami.
I know.
This is a back-to-back international episode of MMA Royalty. And later, we have a surprise for you because we will be touring one of the biggest MMA gyms in the US. Well, not really big in terms of size, but it's one of the most popular in the area. And we will be featuring a lot of fighters that are well known not only here in the Philippines. So just wait for it.
Yes, I'm excited, Miga. Super excited.
For
many reasons for this episode.
Yes, and not only that, we have a special sponsor for this episode. Miga, nako. Miga, the wait is over. Intensifier Spiced Meat and Spicy Sauce has their newest variant, made especially for chili heads who love a good challenge when they eat. This is not for the faint of heart or a novice hot sauce lover like me.
Yes, I know, Miga. It works well for all dishes as well. The heat is intense, but the flavor is just sublime. From chips to pasta to burgers to veggies, this thing will intensify not just the flavor of your food, but also your metabolism. Yes, Miga. So fire flavor number 17 is our hot sauce for today. It's made from Carolina Reapers, Trinidad Maruga Scorpion peppers, and other super hot variants of capsicum chinense. So Intensifier's perfect match is the premium lamb patties and of course the other burgers that Intensifier has as well.
Yes, those are the lamb patties that we're going to taste for tonight's episode. I'm really excited because I know that the viewers are also going to enjoy this because we're speaking in English.
I know, and you are going to eat hot sauce. A hot sauce novice like my Miga. Yay!
I don't like spicy food at all. I was never a fan. I'm sorry.
For you, Miga. Going out of your comfort zone tonight.
I think more than our guests, this is gonna be a challenge for me. I hate you. No, I love you. But yes. I love you, I hate you.
And Miga, where can they order our Intensifier hot sauces and burgers?
For those who are interested to order, you can go to their FB page. That's Intensifier PH. And their IG is also Intensifier PH. So try it out. Intensifier Fire Flavor 17.
And their burgers as well. Yummy, super juicy and pure beef burgers.
You know, when I was cooking the burgers, I could really smell the flavors.
Yes, it's definitely super
Get
beefy.
yourself Intensifier. Intensify those flavors.
Yes. So, yes, Miga, for today we have... Who do we have for tonight? I'm excited.
We have a lot of guests for tonight. This is a back-to-back episode. But we will be, for our first guest, we will be having one of Philippine MMA's royalty. Nako, kilala nyo ba yan? Ay, okay.
Yes.
Do you know him?
Me? I think so. Yes, Miga, but maybe the viewers would have to know more about our next guest. Pahulaan natin. Maybe some of our guests can take a guess on the comment section. Sige nga.
Nako. And mag-comment din kayo dyan. What's your favorite perfect match with a hot sauce, di ba? So maybe you can try out Intensifier. Kasi talaga...
Number 17.
Oh, you're going to feel the burn.
Oo, and they say
And I'm
nga,
scared.
diba?
I'm like
Oo,
scared
that the
now.
capsicum chinense daw are the spiciest variant of chilies from South America.
Cara has left the... Cara has left the
Yan na
interview.
ang Latino peppers for you, miga.
Oh, Cara has left the meeting. Hello? Hello, sorry. There's an emergency.
Ano ka ba? You will enjoy this. And this is also good for the metabolism, miga. So it's good for our very voluptuous bodies. Yes, along with the burger. Nako, beef. I can smell the very yummy beef.
That's
aroma.
lamb, Miga.
It's beef, miga.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
I think I got the other variant.
Ah, talaga? I have the spiced beef burger. What did you
But,
get?
I think I had the lamb. I'm not sure. I think they love me more. Ah!
It's okay. But
No.
next time I will. Okay.
Okay, so for our next episode, we want you to put in a hashtag intensifier, and the lucky winner will get a surprise.
Wow, yes.
Yes, a date with Rika! No.
A date with Cara, guys. Nako. Miga, I'm sure a lot of boys
It's
will
okay if they want to go under quarantine as well.
Nako naman.
Yes,
Anything
that's
for
very
my
sweet,
Miga.
diba? That's very sweet. During your
True,
first date, you spend 14 days together because you'll get quarantine.
Why not? Yes. Eating intensifier burgers
Uh-oh.
and trying out the intensifier hot sauce. Ayan. So yes, hashtag intensifier.
Yeah. So, please like Sports on Air and then repost this video with hashtag intensifier, and we will be choosing a winner that will be announced next episode.
Wow.
Okay? For this episode's guest, nako, wag na natin silang pag-antayin pa. For this episode's guest, we have a former MMA referee. Okay? He is one of the well-respected referees in the Philippine MMA industry. And he is also the WBC Muay Thai, the Ultimate Muay Thai Challenge founder and head honcho. None other than Miga. Who is this?
Yes, our guest for tonight is Mr. Donny Elvina.
Donny, the last Don Elvina.
The last Don. I'm sorry. Donny, the last Don Elvina. Yay!
Yay! Thank you, Donny, for guesting in our show.
Nice
Ayan.
shirt.
Oo. Ultimate
Kailangan niyo ba ng shirt?
Yes.
Oh,
Kailangan
yes.
niyo ng shirt?
Oh, and I'm also,
sige, papadalan ko kayo.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. And I
Thank
think
you.
our viewers would also want one. Sige, paano natin?
Okay.
Oo.
There's black, white, and gray.
Oh, black one for me.
Sige, gray for me.
Okay, so I'll be sending you guys.
Okay, so
Okay.
today, yan, Miga, we have our very special guest. We will be talking about Muay Thai and burgers.
Yes, and
So,
burgers.
Yes, and of
Oo.
course, we will get to know
Perfect.
Yes, perfect combination.
Okay,
We will get to know Donny a little bit more, should we say,
The last Don.
Yes,
Oo,
the last Don.
Don.
we are gonna be asking him some slambo questions while eating our favorite intensifier burgers.
Ayan.
Yan.
Nako.
So, Sir Donny, we can eat burgers
Let's
while
eat
we...
burger,
Is this gonna be the first time that you're going to be placed on the hot seat during an interview?
On hot sauce? Yeah.
On hot sauce and on hot seat, because we really have sizzling questions
Hot
for
seat.
you to answer.
Madalas ako mga hot seat.
Nako. At least It's not gonna be his first time. I think he's gonna ace all our questions, Miga.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Sige, let's start with our sizzling slam book questions.
Mhm.
But before
Pinapawisan
that,
ako.
Nako.
but before that, we'd like our fans to be able to get to know you better. Donnie, we'd like to know, how did you start out in the MMA industry?
MMA, I think it was 97 or 96. Something like that, 96, 97, 98. Dun, somewhere in between. I was always in sports. Varsity ako before for basketball in Las Alvinas up until high school. So lahat yan, golf, swimming, any sport. So nung nag-college ako, wala, hindi na pwede yung basketball sa akin kasi ang lalaki nila eh. High leaper ako kasi before, tapos medyo stocky, so malakas. So naka-obra pa nung bata. Pero nung college na, wala na. So when pagdating ko ng college, I was too short to play basketball. I'm a little over 6 feet lang man ako, pero my position pwede, di na kaya. So nag-swim. Pagdating ko sa swimming, medyo na-bore. Hindi naman na-bore. Nag-varsity team rin naman ako sa swimming. I excelled in sports. Tapos, syempre, barkada. Si Erwin Tagle was my barkada since grade 5, grade 4. Kakasama na kami nun eh. So, sabi nila, subukan ko daw mag-grappling. Sabi ko, yun. Ano yung grappling? Tapos, yan na, yung mga UFC 1. The usual, yung prove mo yung grappling na siya talaga eh. During that time, grappling, wala nang iba. Matatalo ka talaga kahit anong gawin mo. Sure yun. Nasa history book. So, naisip ko, si Erwin is like 120 pounds. 115, I was over 200 na nun. Sabi ko, pucha, galing ito ah. Ganun siya kaliit, wala akong nagawa. As in, medyo life-changing siya. So, nagkaroon ako ng thought, what if pareho kami yung technique ni Erwin, pero malaki ako. And malakas.
This was in Renaissance.
So, medyo...
Tama ba? This was in Renaissance that you trained with Erwin? O wala pang
Kasi may Renaissance. No, wala pang ganun.
That was way before.
Way before pa. Renaissance, bago na yan eh. So, dun pa ako sa Bible times pa ako. So, kami nun, group of friends. Kaya usually magkaka-age kami. Kasi school buddies kami lahat halos. So, naging teammates kami. Aral kami ng grappling, turuan kami ng grappling. Very straightforward naman ng grappling eh. Pero si Erwin kasi, he had this gift that he could dissect things by watching kahit videos or kahit nga video games, kaya niya dissect eh. So, just by watching, nakukuha niya yung moves. Tapos, nakukuha niya yung concept ng grappling. So, wala, minahal ko. I was always a grappler. Grappler talaga ako. Naging striker na lang ako during the pagtagal. Pero grappling MMA talaga. Kasi di ba MMA referee talaga ako eh.
Yeah.
Pero
that
for the
was
longest time.
That's interesting, Donny, kasi parang at the time MMA is not yet that popular here in the Philippines, no? So you were sort of like one of the trailblazers, kumbaga.
Well, so he's one of the first professional Philippine MMA referees here in the Philippines.
Yeah, so kumbaga the sport was a baby at the time.
One of the first.
Because I remember before it was full of foreigners. They would bring in foreigners to do refereeing for professional fights.
Right,
then
right.
and then suddenly, of course, we wanted to also get our own set of referees going. And then yun nga, I used to see you a lot in PXC. Yeah.
Yes.
Pacific Extreme Combat.
PXC ako din. I used
Oo.
to watch PXC before because Gina Inyong, shout out, is my very good friend. So yeah, that was and PXC was always jam-packed. So during that time,
In Inares. Yeah,
in Inares.
During that time, MMA was technically in its infancy in terms of being a closed door event. I mean, there was URCC, but then when it was slowly becoming commercialized, that was when the PXC came in. But how was it, Donny, to be an MMA referee? Because you came in from being a fighter, and then suddenly now you're refereeing. So how was it like for you?
During those times kasi, I had no choice kundi ibigay sa akin yung slot na yun because I was always the tallest or the biggest sa team. So, tsaka, experience na. I've been teaching rin naman since 99, 98, or basta matagal na rin ako. Tuturo na rin naman ako ng MMA, ng grappling, ng wrestling, konting Muay Thai, boxing. Ngayon, super love ko boxing right now. Tapos, dumating yung time, si Big John dumating dito. But DXC was connected with Big John McCarthy. So, siya yung nag-polish ng skills ko talaga. As in, to the last detail. Walking around the cage, breathing. Kasi you have to maintain a certain heart rate para yung vision mo maganda. Kasi, for referee ganyan, mahirap mag-referee. Last minute decisions, last minute lahat yun. And you have to, kailan mo i-call yung decision mo in split seconds lang yan. Split second decision. So, medyo mahirap din siya. So, I really had to train every day.
Yeah,
pero training was always part of my routine naman eh. So,
and also, you're being put on the spot all the time kasi yun nga, your decision.
Diba? It involves quick response time. If you're a person that lags or is quite slow, I think that's gonna be a disadvantage.
And also moving around the cage, diba? The time, parang syempre, it's just there are a lot of spectators, so kailangan din parang it's a performance by the two fighters eh. So kasama ka dun. So it's interesting when you said na parang meron ding science when you're moving around the stage. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, one thing, science part, footwork. Iisipin mo, kunyari lang sinasabayan ko sila Loman, sino pa ba?
Maganda ang footwork ni Champ Loman. Yeah.
Sila Gab, sino pa ba? Sila Mark Spiegel, sasabayan mo sa
sila Ali Cali before. Di ba si Ali sobrang likot eh.
Si Erwin, sasabayan sino pa ba? You know what? Pina PXC. Ang dami na. Super. Lahat ng sasabayan. And they're like 1/4 my weight or at least half.
Yeah. So you have to be physically fit then.
You have to be agile because
and conditioned.
If you have lower weight classes moving around and then you have to stop the fight, you have to get in between them. So you really have to be quick, otherwise.
Yeah.
The fighters would have gotten into trouble already by the time that you get to them.
Yun nga, I've been repping for so long. And I've been teaching for so long. So, different weights, different everything. Parang isang side note was, si Big John he was the teammate of sila Gracie before. Parang something like that eh. Pero, ikaw na lang mag-referee, parang ganun yung dating. Kasi, wala naman eh.
Yeah. And especially with
wala naman eh.
Mm-mm.
Kunin natin ito. Ilan lang naman kami qualified.
Yeah, and also maybe it was an advantage that
Wala,
you had.
mahirap talaga during those times.
Mm-mm.
So, basically, because it was, well, the industry of Philippine MMA refereeing was quite new. So, you had to do a lot of self-study. You have to actually get yourself out there watching videos. Is that what you did in preparation for it? What was your preparation or training?
Yung preparation and training ko was almost like a fight na rin. Kasi cardio, pero syempre walang weight cut sa akin. Kasi hirap eh. And I don't need to naman dahil hindi naman nalalaban eh. Pero yun nga, kailangan hindi ka pagod, so yung visuals mo maganda pa rin. Doon ko nakikita na it takes so much work and dedication to be a professional MMA referee. So halos dapat sabay ka sa fighter. Sabay ka sa fighter. So hindi naman siya parang nakatingin lang sila doon, nakatayo lang. Siyempre kung yung, let's say, 2 fighters na knockout yung isa, totodohin na ng isa. Siyempre dapat nandun ako.
Yeah.
Paano ko? Parang malalaki yung speed nila. Paano ko sila habulin, di ba? Kung mabagal ako.
Yes.
So kailan medyo anticipated ko na lahat bago magkaroon ng serious injury.
Especially, you're being put under a lot of scrutiny din eh, 'di ba? With yun nga.
Yeah.
With the calls.
With the calls.
And being a referee, I think it's also like being a judge. You either make or break a fighter's career with your calls.
Yes.
Exactly.
And there's this very fine line na you stop it or you don't.
Yeah. Tapos you get criticized when you stop it too early or you stop it too late.
Yes. Yes. Pero most things people don't see inside the cage. Sa view ko or most referees, super lapit namin eh.
Yeah.
Yung eyes, yan yung magsasabi na, wala na to. Or, kaya pa. Parang like si Luis Molca. I remember, Luis Molca, nung pakan siya ni Ali Cali ata, or, Ali Cali.
It was Ali Cali.
Wasak na siya. As in, Ali Cali nga, yun. Wasak na siya, tapos parang, nakita ko okay pa siya. So, I talk to them, are you okay? Parang, nagko-communicate kami na, hindi, okay pa. Maganon pa siya. Tapos yung mata nagre-respond pa sa akin eh. So, anyway, nanalo siya. Hindi ko sa gab, pinatigil muna, pina-check muna, okay naman, pinunasan yung cut, everything. He ended up winning the fight via rear naked choke. Kaya pa siya. Pero yung iba, sumisigaw na to stop it. Pero ako, nakikita ko kaya pa eh. Kaya pa niya, kaya pa. And messy lang tignan. So, after a few weeks, nag-UFC na siya.
Wow, that's
diba?
great.
Yun nga eh. Parang you can actually make or break a fighter's career. Just imagine, they train for 6 to 8 months, sometimes even several years, and then afterwards, just one call, one wrong call, or one right call, it actually, diba, pushes them towards a different direction.
And yun nga, it's...
were you ever worried about that?
No, not really. Siyempre, being a fighter, being a teammate also for so many years na I know how it feels to be, parang, ayoko maging mapunta sa hands ng referee yung decision.
Yeah.
So, I would say, I always give a fair fight to everyone. Pag kaya pa, papabayaan ko. Pag hindi, hindi na.
Yeah,
diba?
and most especially with your knowledge pati, that's what a lot of people don't know eh. You have a high fight IQ, so alam mo kung ano yung nangyayari inside the cage more than anybody else. Diba?
It's like that's the real front row seat that you could ever have.
And also, Donnie, yun nga, a lot of people don't know, pero it's not just yung itsura ng fighter that you take in consideration, but it's also their body language. Talagang complex siya na system. Can you tell us more about that? Na parang the way you evaluate if a fighter can still go and fight, yung mga ganong things. Can you tell us more about how you decide whether a fighter can still go through a fight?
Okay, so yung mga categories sa akin is, well, number one is yung eyes talaga. Yan yung first signs kung kaya pa or hindi na kaya mag-move on. Or makikita mo rin naman pag lumalaban pa eh. Or ano na lang, parang
lucid pa siya.
Or lucid pa siya, or kung kaya pa. Makikita mo talaga. Minsan natatago lang sa TV dahil mas malayo. Pero sa malapitan, makikita mo sinong mas active, sinong umiilag, sino yung nagpapahinga, sino yung natamaan, sino yung may damage.
Yeah.
Diba? Makikita yun, hindi mo kaya i-fake yung mga biglang gumanon. Hindi mo kaya fake yun. So, iba naman, magaling lang talaga magtago. Pero pag tinamaan talaga, yun, kitang-kita naman.
Oo, it shows din talaga.
Pero, ang pinakasabi sa akin ni Big John was, most of the fighters inside the cage or ring are your friends and teammates. So you have to look after them. It's only one fight, pwede naman sa next, di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi yung iba, ayaw pumayag, mamamatay na, di ba?
Mga ano yun eh, ride or die, di ba? Talagang.
Yun. So, may warrior spirit, ayaw nila pakawalan. Tsaka, you were trained to go the distance. Ngayon, syempre, ako, kasabay ko rin naman mag-training yung mga fight camps eh. Kita ko kung gaano ka grabe. Ngayon, pag sumobra na, hindi na alam ng fighter na, uy, hindi mo na kaya. That's where I step in.
Yeah.
So,
because it might result to irreparable damage din eh, 'di ba? Hindi mo din alam
Yes,
yung ilang seconds na pinabayaan baka mamaya will result to
Exactly.
something more severe.
Oo, that's no. That's parang a very nice perspective to come from.
Diba kapag na-break damage?
Yeah. Oo.
Before kasi the usual brutal ka, hayaan mo sila, pero after a while, it's not worth it eh. It's not worth it. Parang merong isang matatabunan. And compromise mo yung safety ng isang tao. Diba? So, hindi pwede
So you really have to be consensuous with your decisions.
Yes. For me naman, when I step in the ring or the cage, wala nang mukha yan sa akin eh. Hindi na yan lakay, hindi na yan sub-sport, hindi na yan kung ano mang team yan. Wala na siya sa akin, wala na. Blank na yung face nila. So, ginagage mo yung damage done, lahat. Parang yun nga, nag-judge na ako doon.
Kumbaga parang you just evaluate those situations. Parang you have to have like that big picture when you're inside the ring. Hindi lang yung mga lilit na details, but then you put them together.
Yes.
Mahirap talaga yun. I mean, you have to be a fighter at the same time a referee.
Yeah.
Be able to know those things.
Mahirap.
So that's interesting.
Kasi isa sa mga tips na binigay sa akin, you always have to tell their corner, kunyari nasa ground kayo, sasabihin mo siya, if you don't stand up, I'm gonna put this up. If you don't get active, I'm gonna put the fight up. So, constantly mo sinasabi yun sa team, both sides, sa judges, sa
crowd?
fans.
Yeah.
Sabi mo sa crowd, linalakasan mo, para hindi, tinayo ng referee eh, kaya pa eh.
Yeah.
Diba? So, yan, mga small details. Pero, it works eh. It works eh. Kasi mas nagiging active yung dalawang fighter. Or kunyari, ito, good example I was reffing one fight in PXC. Dalawang Muay Thai na grappling. Diba? Tayo kayo. Di pwede yan. Tayo kayo. Nagpapahinga kayo. So, being a referee is yun, entertain pa rin, di ba? Tsaka lately kasi ang MMA, usually pag di ka magaling mag-striking, hindi ka na sinasign eh. Ewan ko kung na-notice nyo yun. Ng chance or para may TV value, striking eh.
Yeah.
Striking talaga, kailangan may stand-up nyo. So, pag entertaining kayo, usually tuloy-tuloy ang ano nyo eh, ang contract nyo in most
in most promotions.
Well, yeah, it's a show. After all, it's still a show. We're still trying to put up a show for the fans.
Yeah, and the organizers or promoters are still looking for most importantly, the entertainment value of the fighters.
So speaking of stand-up, Donny, what made you decide on being a promoter and establishing professional Muay Thai? Finally, after how many years in the Philippines? Kasi for the longest time, well, we have strong amateur Muay Thai culture here, pero professional Muay Thai. So, paano, kwento mo sa amin how this all started and what made you decide to do this finally?
Okay, marami yan eh, maraming factors. So, Muay Thai here was registered, I think, 96 officially, registered. So that's roughly over 20 years ago na yun.
Wow.
Pag inaalala ko yung paper trail niyan, parang 96 nakalagay, pero hindi sila natuloy ma-register. Pero they were here way before that pa. So it means nauna pa Sorry. Hindi sila nauna. Inisip ko kasi nauna pa ata grappling ma-recognize sa kanila. Sorry. Nauna pa MMA magkaroon ng license.
Ng licensing.
Kasi ang pag pro Muay Thai fighter ka, MMA ang license mo eh.
So, walang distinction. Wala siyang distinction before.
And MMA, if you recall, pang X Games yan dati eh. So, for me, parang naunahan pa kayo ng Muay Thai, pero the usual may politics, pero no one was really pushing for it to get professionalized. So, nandun na kami because of the entertainment value of Muay Thai. Tsaka lahat naman ng Muay Thai teammates namin and any MMA team, may Muay Thai kang kakampi kasi sila nagtuturo sa'yo eh.
For the striking, mostly the striking was focused on Muay Thai rather than boxing eh. I've noticed that when
Exactly.
Because I think with Muay Thai, there are also kicks involved, unlike in boxing. Although yes, it's forceful, yes there is power, but then again, for when MMA was still starting, you needed to learn how to do the kicks.
Tsaka, yung vision kasi namin was, okay, Muay Thai fighter ako. Okay, mag-MMA ka na lang kasi wala namang kay liga eh. So, hindi mo na kailan mag-MMA. Mag-Muay Thai ka na, diretso ka na.
Yeah.
Parang, a good example, si Fritz Biagtan. MMA yun eh. MMA siya una eh. Pero, boxing / Muay Thai talaga siya because of his dad.
Because of Master Ray.
Pero he had to go to... Yes. Yung dalawang pogi. Master Ray. So, yung sila Fritz had no other way to fight kundi mag-MMA na lang sila kasi wala namang league dito ng Muay Thai eh.
That's true.
So, nung tinayo namin yung league, parang, wow, finally, may professional league na yung Muay Thai dito sa Pilipinas.
Yes, and nabuhay yung mga Muay Thai fighters who did amateur, di ba?
Yes.
Because
amateur lang
during that time, there was no life after amateur. Like, the career path would be you do amateur Muay Thai and then you transition to MMA.
Yeah, so we finally now see sila Sir Brent Velasco, sila Fernando Vinos back in the ring, di ba? That's amazing for all Muay Thai fighters actually. Kasi they see a future, di ba, for them to be professionalized.
Nako.
Sobra, di ba? Isipin mo si Brent, legend yan. Legend
in Muay
Brent,
Thai.
ever since.
Yeah.
In Muay Thai. Pa-retire na siya, dun lang siya nagkaliga. Diba? I mean, ito yung exit match niya eh. Pero tingin ko kaya pa niya.
Oo.
Kaya pa niya, feeling ko. Kasi, ano naman eh, yung mileage nila isn't that high. Kasi wala namang league dito sa Philippines eh. Tsaka, makakita mo talaga magaling naman Pinoy sa suntukan eh.
Totoo, oo.
Ay, ikikwento ko sa inyo, reffing abroad with different, syempre iba-ibang lahi nandun. Takot sila sa Pinoy, sa pakas. Sila, aplingin na lang nila para tapos na or may chance. Pero let's say, sa bayan, na wag na lang. Ayaw nila nang may pagsabayan. Kasi sabayan mo si Janelle Lau sa mga ganon. Diba?
Oh, Janelle is also really good. Si Janelle has good hands.
And
Janelle, he can easily, Janelle can be a professional boxer tomorrow. He can be a professional Muay Thai later.
Exactly.
MMA grappler. Magaling talaga yun.
Yeah, he's one of those that's very well-rounded. It's not common for MMA fighters to be good in a lot of aspects. Sometimes you're just good in striking. Sometimes it's very rare to see someone that's very well-rounded. But I think Lausa is one of them.
Yeah, especially here in the Philippines kasi parang most of the MMA fighters, at least in the past, is parang may isang base, may isang, halimbawa, if you're a boxer, you used to be a boxer, so yun yung base mo talaga. But then, we see ngayon lalo sa present day na mas nagiging well-rounded na yung mga fighters.
Yeah, and even Team Lakay, right? Before it was only concentrated in wushu, and then right now we see Gehe is doing submissions, also Coach Edward.
They have their belts na. They also have their belts for jiu-jitsu.
Lakas Lakay.
Yeah.
Iba yung Lakay.
Oo, iba talaga.
Yeah, iba sila.
Speaking of Pinoy fighters din, Coach Donny, I think it's also yung sinasabi mo na kinakatakutan. Ako, I can honestly say na in my fights, sa totoo lang, yung Pilipina na nakalaban ko, mas malakas talaga sumuntok. And I think, yung sinasabi nila about Pacquiao na parang bricks yung kamao, I think totoo siya for Filipinos kasi iba yung tama eh.
Alam mo, the first time that I saw Pacquiao in person, medyo na-shock ako because yung kanyang mga kamao, parang kasing laki ng kamao ng baby, ng ulo ng baby.
Oo.
Diba? Ang laki niya, ng kamao niya. Tapos parang that's when you get to realize like, that's why he's really good in boxing. Because he has hammer hands. Diba?
Do you think, yun? It's
true,
Coach Donny, na ganun ba talaga? Do we really have, sa mga na-referee mong fights, do we really have that sort of like,
advantage?
Advantage? Is it unique to us?
Feeling ko kasi yung fighting spirit ng Pinoy, yun yung mahirap talunin eh. Isipin mo, yung isa gusto manalo, yung isang lahi. Tayo gusto may pag-away, may pagsuntukan. Paano ka mananalo?
For the love of the
And also yung tawag nga nila yung buhay boksingero, because a lot of the boxers and the MMA fighters, they're actually fighting as a livelihood. It's more of food. Like I remember there was a story by Senator Manny that if he was not able to win for that specific week, they would not have food for that week. Diba? So you're fighting for your family. That's
coming
why,
from that,
coming from that aspect, talagang patay kung patay because my family is not going to eat, so might as well, diba, give it all out. I think that's also one of the reasons why with Filipinos, when we go out there inside the cage or inside the ring, talagang we're not only fighting for the belt, we're not only fighting for medals, we're actually fighting to survive.
True. Pero
for your family.
for your family.
Iba mindset ng Pinoy.
Pero
that's what I
mahilig lang
appreciate.
talaga sa bakan ng mga Pinoy.
Yeah, because I also
But lang talaga tayo, maharot.
and they also say like with people that I know of that have been training and fighting overseas, they said that they like fighting or performing in the Philippines because they like the Filipino audience. We're very animated. We do a chorus sometimes, like when there's fight in MOA or when we have the small fights, di ba? Nagcha-chant na, nag-aasaran. So, yan yung eh.
Barangay Ginebra tayo.
Yes.
Diba? Barangay Ginebra mga Pinoy.
Lalo pag PXC, no, Coach Donny, nako, ang saya-saya.
Diba?
Oo.
I actually really miss PXC. Parang part yan ng buhay ko. Hindi pa ako tapos eh. Marami pa ako eh. Kasi mabata naman ako naging referee eh. So, kaya pa. Ako na lang ata wala sa UFC eh.
Nako.
Lahat ng kasama ko sa PXC nandun na eh.
Oo. So you think, Coach Donny,
Yeah, dami na nila.
Oo. Do you see yourself reffing for MMA in the future then?
Yes, up to now? Yeah, of course, definitely. Definitely. Kasi I work with the best na eh. I mean, katrabaho ko na si so, di ba? Yun na yun, malapit na yun eh. Dream ko siya, passion ko rin naman talaga siya. Kasi small details na akong na-discover eh. Alam mo yun, being a referee. So, kaya ko pa eh. Pwede pa eh.
Mahaba pa ang career.
Pwede pa.
Antayin namin.
Marinig yung mahaba pa.
We're going to wait for that. We're really excited because there are also a lot of fighters or Filipino fighters that are fighting overseas now. And we're hoping that it's like boxing. Like with boxing, right? When you're fighting overseas, they also have to get a Filipino fighter. If there's a Filipino referee. If there's a Filipino fighter fighting in the card, there are some organizations wherein they require that you also have to get a Filipino referee on board. So, yeah, I hope it's something that eventually...
nila.
Sige, let's say it in English.
Eventually, sana.
Sana.
Yeah, because I think like with the rate that MMA is going, yeah, maybe they consider that. Because since in boxing, gano'n naman na eh. So yun, ako, thank you. Ang dami naming natutunan. Now, we're going to, yan. Because we already know now a lot about your professional life, a lot about your refereeing, and also being a promoter. Now, let's get to know more about Donny Elvina as the last Don.
Yes.
Oh.
Where did that come from? The Last Don. Where did that parang moniker come from?
The Last Don, okay. It's a mafia term. Ikaw yung last Don. Yung Don. Ikaw yung...
Like, this is like the Godfather, right? Okay. Yeah, this is from the Godfather.
Yeah, so, matagal ko na siyang email. Ako yung last Don. Ako yung huling Godfather. Parang ganon, something like that. So, dahil nung nag-PXC ako siguro, tapos social media, the event of social media, I had to create this persona. So, catchy yun ah. Last Don, beard, shade, whatever. Tapos, syempre, barkada ko lahat ng nasa PXC. So, yung ring announcer, si Chris, sabi niya, the last Don, blah, 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 Donny Elvina, okay. Wala na, nag-stick na yun.
It's stuck.
Yeah, tsaka, you always have to consider or always have to know that it's still a show. Still a show. So, I'm part of the show, one of the characters.
Yeah, you're part of the cast. So, at least you have to have your own personality.
Yeah.
But, what is your real name?
My birth name is Don Leonardo Alviar Elvina. So, naging Donny Elvina. Ganun lang. Short na lang yan.
Yeah, but it still sounds like Heredero. So, parang pang last Don din talaga.
Correct, oo. And where were you born?
Siguro ganun.
Where,
oo. I was born in Manila.
Sorry, Manila.
Sorry.
You were born in Manila?
Manila. Hello?
Yes,
there.
So
Manila.
Manileño ka talaga all throughout your
born
life.
and bred in Manila.
Yes.
Manila.
Manila. QC. QC. Tumagal ako sa QC, tapos Pasig, tapos nasa South na ako ngayon, sa Parañaque.
Kasi you said you went to school sa LSGH, di ba, Coach?
Lasal Green Hills.
LSGH, tapos TSB.
St. Benilde. So talagang Metro Manila.
Yes.
Green Archers.
Dugong green talaga ako.
Green. Yes, nako.
Throughout.
Ito naman, since kumakain na si Migang Kara, what...
Ang sarap kasi!
I know, yeah. This burger is really amazing. What is your favorite dish? Dishes, kung marami.
Dish?
Yeah.
Nako ako. Burgers. Hamburgers. Japanese. Tsaka, yan, American, yan.
Well,
For sure.
It's just timely that we were sponsored by Intensifier. Hi, shout out to Ron Jaworski. Thank you very much for sponsoring this episode.
Very yummy.
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, Ron.
I just like to say na parang the patties, no, I wanna show our audience. Yes! Napakakapal ng ating burger patties. Beautiful. Yes, no extenders for this. It's all meat.
How about your motto in life? Do you have a specific motto that you subscribe to?
Ako? Wala. Dati na akong YOLO.
You only have one life.
YOLO na ako. Wala pa yung term.
For the purposes of our viewers, can you tell them what YOLO means?
You only live once. Tama ba?
Yes. You
only live once.
Yeah, laging go for it. Laging go for it naman ako ever since. Laging just do it.
So, ride or die.
Yan na yung
si Coach Donny.
Ride or die, ganyan talaga. All out ako all out. All out in everything.
Wow. Sige. How about if you were given the chance to go back in time? What would be the piece of advice that you would give your younger self?
Ako. Hirap kasi when I was much younger, siguro sasabihin ko sa sarili ko, go for it. Pero gano'n na ako dati pa eh. So, sabihin ko sa sarili ko, mag-save. Pero, di rin eh.
Would you have listened to would you have listened at that time? No. So maybe that's why you think it's hard, because even though you said something or you gave some advice, parang, no, I'm not gonna, that's not true.
And siguro no regrets din, no?
It won't happen eh.
Oo. You're kind of like a no regrets kind of guy. Yeah.
Yeah, based on the YOLO. I guess.
Oo. Ganun naman, if you give your 100%, you have no reason to regret.
Oo eh. Tsaka, I guess, growing up doing sports all my life, talagang move on lang ako parati eh. Manalo, matalo, basta all out lang ako. Doesn't matter. Yung result, ano na lang yan. Bonus na lang yung result eh.
Yeah. It's the process talaga, no?
Yung process talaga. Yun talaga. Process.
And I think one of the important things about that is that you are able to move on quite easily from opportunities that don't suit you. Parang, okay, I tried it out. It didn't work out, and I'm gonna try something again. Diba? Because
right.
Sige. How about your biggest dream? I mean, we've heard kanina na there are a lot of things that you still want to do, but we'd like to know, like, for you as a person, not only as an MMA official or a promoter, what is your biggest dream?
personally, syempre, to reach UFC, to be the first Filipino referee UFC in UFC, naging dream ko talaga yun eh. I mean, malapit na nun. Like I said, working with Big John, nandun na ako nun eh. Di pa naman tapos. I mean,
yeah, you're still young.
waiting.
Diba? Oo, there's still,
Still young, still
years.
fit. Kaya nga, I'm staying ready. Staying ready ako.
Yes, always
So,
ready.
Okay pa. Advice ko rin yan to all athletes or to all fighters. Stay ready. You never know kailan nyo makukuha yung phone call na yan eh. Diba? Like si Gab. Gab, congrats. Gab D.
Yes, congratulations for his win.
Makapanalo lang niya. Galing. Galing. Siya, like si Gab, hindi yan sumuko. Balik ulit siya. Diba? Hintay na lang yan ang tawag. Tawagan siya UFC or kung sino mang league, diba?
Yeah.
Like
So,
Mark
Strigo.
He just got the call. I'm so proud dahil PXC rin yan eh.
Yeah.
Si Rocky Martinez got into UFC. He didn't get the result pero doon na siya. Diba? Nag-rise in pa siya. Kinalaban niya na si Krokop. Naman, diba? Si Krokop, kalaban mo.
Yes, oo.
Oo, the
Yeah, so,
opportunity in
a way,
itself eh. Yeah.
I'm living through them kasi personal friends ko sila eh. Ngayon, nandun na
Inspiring,
sila.
very inspiring.
Fine.
Siguro,
Yes,
oo. It's one of the things na makukuha ng mga siguro non-athlete viewers natin about isang lesson na matututunan nila from athletes and from from referees. Na yun nga, always stay ready. There's no parang walang pahinga. You always have to be in shape. You always have to be in fight form.
Yeah. There's no such thing as training for a fight.
Yes,
Diba?
yes. It's your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kasi the other people siguro, they think na, okay, it's off-season, I don't need to train. But I remember with GSP.
Walang
with GSP, he was the one that I first heard of that would say that there's no off-season. Like, if he gets a call the next day, he's ready to fight. Ayun. So, given that we already know of your biggest dream, how about, what would be the life legacy that you would want to achieve?
Life legacy, okay. Kasi I've been in the martial arts industry for 20 years, maybe more. So, I can't just say hobby ko siya. I would say it's much deeper than that. My son, second generation na siya. Syempre, yan yung dream ko, siya yung mag-UFC or mag-Olympics or whatever. Pero I think life legacy would be to pave the way for martial arts in the Philippines. Entertainment side, production side, lahat. Yun talaga yung dream ko, to put us in the map. Kasi nandiyan eh. I mean, lahat naman ng fighters sa PXC, puro Pinoy naman yun eh. Sa Brave, puro Pinoy. 1FC, puro Pinoy. Di production na lang yung kulang. So, medyo ganun yung mindset namin. Ako rin, ganun yung mindset ko since I work with production.
So, you want to focus on grassroots development?
Yeah, yes. Ano yun? One of our, is the grassroots program. So, para makagawa ka ng isang world-class fighter, you have to train them pagkapanganak pa lang. I mean, nandun dapat yung mindset ng tao or ng gobyerno natin na ngayon, yun yung ginagawa namin ni Erwin, lalo na si Erwin, ni Erwin yan, spearhead niyan yung grassroots program na, let's say, Muay Thai fighter. It doesn't have to be for Muay Thai lang eh. Pwedeng Jiu-Jitsu, pwedeng let's say, kukunin mo siya 6 years old, 7 years old. Tuturuan mo na siya hanggang sa end goal niya is mag-UMC, mag-pro, or mapadala abroad.
Yeah.
Kasi livelihood na siya eh. Diba? So, after niya mag-juniors, mag-pro na siya, after niya mag-pro, syempre pa-retire na yan. Punta ka sa production. Tulong ka sa amin sa production, sa show. in a way, yun yung nangyayari sa amin eh. Like with me, martial arts ako, nag-pro ako with being a referee, tapos nag-production na ako. Yun yung
cycle.
Yeah, yung circle na. Yung cycle, yes.
Wow. Nako. Our viewers have a lot to look forward to in terms of professional Muay Thai. And I know that
you've already laid the foundation.
And he seems to be having a really great plan for professional Muay Thai in the Philippines. And that means a lot of opportunities for our viewers and also our fight fans. And maybe from fight fan, you'd be able to become later on a fighter yourself.
Or work in the production
industry.
Team, ganon. Kasi parang pag fighter ka, what's next after I fight, diba? There's still a lot of like opportunities waiting for our fighters. Yun nga,
within the industry.
Within the industry.
Yeah. So, it's not like after you become a fighter, your only option is to do something else. But here, there's a lot of opportunities with the Ultimate Muay Thai Challenge.
Yes.
Yun. So,
kaya rin laking pasasalamat namin sa Gab tsaka kala Chairman Baham. Kasi they made things easier for us. Si Bossing, pinadali niya eh. So with that, he created more jobs for more Filipinos. Kasi hindi lang naman yung fighter yung magkakatrabaho eh. Pati naman yung sa production. Diba? So yun yung medyo master plan talaga namin na yun nga, yung linilay namin na ground rules or ground para dun papunta any martial artist, any, not just Muay Thai.
That's exciting.
Thank you for that. I mean, it's not there's not a lot of people who actually see it in that point of view, that you're not only giving people opportunities to fight but also to make a livelihood. Diba? Because that's different eh. You fight, sometimes it's just a one-time thing. It's an on and off. But then, what the last Don or Donny is trying to do is to lay a career path for not only fighters, but people who have been involved in the fight industry before. So, and for our fighters out there or former fighters, there's still hope. There's still a lot of people like Donny.
Doing the thing that you love.
Hindi fighting ang end of the road. It might be the start. Diba? For sa journey mo. Like, with my journey, it didn't end nung hindi na ako fighter. Naging referee pala ako.
And it's just the beginning.
Oo, yun pala yung reason bakit ako nagtitrain hard dati. Ganyan. Pero wala naman akong ka-weight sa Philippines eh. Abroad ako dapat lalaban.
Parehas tayo. Wala tayong ka-weight sa Philippines.
Well, actually, ako din.
So, siguro dahil I stayed ready. All my life, I stayed ready. Martial arts, blah, blah, blah. Nung naging referee ako, dumali na eh. Kasi wala eh. Everyday naman ako everyday we fight eh.
Yeah.
Everyday we fight. Every day.
Thank you. Nako. We're looking forward to all of those things within the next few months because sports now has been given the go signal of the IATF, the professional sports, has been given the go signal of IATF for its resumption. And we're very excited to have another episode of UMC. Okay, so let's go to our challenges na. Okay, let's go to the one must go.
Let's go. Yes. So we are gonna give you 4 choices, Coach Donny, and then, well, one must go. Sige. So I'll start. So number 1, UFC, Brave, One, or Rising?
Hindi pwede yun. Baka may kumuha pa sa akin.
Oo nga, sige na nga.
Sige.
Wala.
Okay. Let's that
keep
question.
Everything. Okay, we keep everything. Okay, number 2. This is for Muay Thai. Keep, roundhouse kick, leg kick, or knees?
Leg kick.
Leg
At
kick.
away? takeaway.
Oo.
Yeah,
Yung-
one
ayun-
must go.
Leg kick ang go-to ko eh. Ano ulit yung one must go?
Tip,
Sorry.
roundhouse kick, leg kick, or knees.
Sweep.
So yun yung, okay, you can do away with that. Okay, next. Jab, straight, uppercut, or hook.
Hirap nun Straight.
Straight. Okay. Okay, next. Tiger Balm, efficacent oil, pauliniment, or katingko?
Baka maging sponsor ko yan.
Ayun nga.
Wala.
So keep
I think
everything.
Pinakamahina na lang.
Oo.
Katingko.
Katingko, pangkate. Oo. At least yung iba talagang pang muscle pain. Okay, next and last. Adobo, lumpia, sinigang, or kare-kare?
Kare-kare.
Kare-kare. So, what's your favorite food aside from Filipino food? Kasi kanina we discussed parang burger, something.
Sinigang. Sinigang.
Sinigang pala. Ayan. Totoo. Lalo na if it's raining, this rainy season.
Yes.
Oo. Perfect ang sinigang. So, yan. We're finished with One Must Go. And for our next challenge, the one that we've been waiting for.
Yes.
So,
Hindi ba yan?
ayan.
Ito
Yes.
na. Yes.
So for now, we're going to have the
Yes,
Intensifier Chili Challenge. Miga, what does the Intensifier Fire flavor number 17 have inside of it?
So it has all the spiciest capsicum chinense peppers, Carolina Reapers, Trinidad Moruga, Scorpion peppers, yun. I just found out that they're like one of the spiciest peppers in the world from South America. So ayan, this is what we're gonna try. So not only spiciness but also flavor with our intensifier burgers. Yes, naaamoy
I'm about
ko
to
na.
finish mine. So,
Favorite.
okay.
So, ano,
Yes.
na?
So game. So we will slather our burger. So the challenge is we will slather the burger with our intensifier.
Yan.
Number 17. Yes. Oo, ayan. Nako.
I'm
Parang ang dami
scared.
parang sanay na sanay ka, Coach Donny, kumain na maanghang. Are you a chili head?
Chili head.
Oh my God! I'm the odd one out.
Naku,
I'm
Miga.
scared.
Game?
Okay, wait.
Game na. Nako.
Sarap. Oh. Anghang.
It's very spicy.
Super spicy, but grabe
Please
yung
putting
flavor.
more!
Oo nga.
Para stay ready.
Pero it really tastes
Ano
like
next?
peppers,
Ano next?
no? Coach Donny. Parang yung peppers talaga, you can still taste. Kasi yung ibang maanghang, parang there's just anghang. But this one really like has that intense deep flavors ng mga peppers talaga.
Sarap.
I don't like spicy things, but this is good.
Solid.
Solid, grabe.
Solid.
Meat and hot sauce talaga, no? Talagang go to comfort food. Parang hindi naman naaanghangan.
Parang ako lang may...
Oo. Dagdagan ko rin nga.
No challenge naman kayo.
That's a challenge for me. Oh, he's finished na!
Oh no! We have our chili head.
We have our winner!
We have our
Thank
winner. Half pa lang ako, pero it's really good.
Sabi, I need to drink water.
Go. I have milk. Kasi sabi nila, di ba, the milk daw, parang...
Tama. Right.
Parang it's a good neutralizer for maanghang.
Right.
So I have my fresh milk.
Yan or ice cream.
Uy, I like that. Burgers and ice cream and hot sauce. Nako. So again, nako, very yummy. We have our intensifier number 17. Is there new flavor?
Sarap. Ayun, number.
There, yes, the intensifier number 17. And of course, the burgers. Our intensifier, beef and lamb burgers. Miga, kamusta? Parang naluluha ka na dyan.
Ayaw na magsalita.
Ayaw na magsalita. Nako.
Ikaw yung na-challenge.
I'm the one who thought of the challenge. I ended up being the one regretting it.
Pero nako, napakasarap. At syempre, ang ating winner, ang ating certified chili head, the last Don. Nako, walang-wala, maning-mani.
Oo. Nako. The competitive spirit.
Yes. Pero nako, thank you very much, Coach Donny. And also, yun nga, you said na the legacy that you want to leave. I think you've laid the foundation already and maraming mga athletes ang talagang nagpapasalamat sa iyo. Yun nga, we talked about Sir Brent Velasco and the other Muay Thai fighters who parang thought about retirement. Pero ngayon, nakikita na natin sa ring all because of you, MC. So maraming salamat. I think this is just the start of a long career for you in terms of like being a promoter and establishing professional Muay Thai here in the Philippines. So, nandito na tayo sa portion natin where you can say any message.
I'm about to cry.
Oh, yun nga. Ako na, Miga. I got this. So, if you want to say something to your supporters or your followers or the people who've helped you along the way. So, we're giving the floor to you now.
Allah.
This is part of the dedication.
Yes,
diba?
dedication.
In the slam book, there's a dedication.
Okay. A message ko lang to all the athletes. Siguro, laban lang ng laban. Stay ready. Iwas sa bisyo, ganyan. Tapos, don't let go of your dreams. If may sumara naman na isa, may bubukas na isa. So, tuloy-tuloy lang. Diba? Yes. So, laban ka lang ng laban hanggat may tatama din dyan.
And yours is an inspiring story din, Coach Donny, diba? Kasi grabe talagang naging fighter ka, naging referee, and then there's still a lot more for you to do sa sobrang dami mo. Oo. Age shouldn't stop you talaga eh. Lalo yung timeline natin as fighters, medyo maaga. So after that, what's next, 'di ba? And you've proven. Oo.
Anong escape plan mo or ano yung next mo? 'Di ba? Kailangan meron. Lagi kang may escape.
May backup plan. Okay,
backup plan ka parati.
Always, yes.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much, the last Donny Elvina, for gracing our show. It was an honor to learn a lot from you and to share to our viewers what they can look forward to in professional Muay Thai here in the Philippines.
Yes, thank you.
More to come pa yan.
Thank you. Grabe yung intensifier.
Para hindi
makapagsalita
si Miga. Thank you, Coach Donny, for being in our show and for sharing your story also. We have a hugely popular guest tonight. So,
I think the viewers are wondering why all of a sudden we're speaking in English when most of the time nagtatagalog kami. Yan. Bakit? Why?
Medyo dinudugo na nga.
Because tonight we're gonna be having an international guest. Yan.
Laks naman.
Yan. See, nagpaparamdam na yung international guest natin.
Yes. Okay.
Ikaw, Rika, do you have any guesses kung sino ang ating guest for tonight?
Can you give me a clue, Miga?
Ay, nako.
Clue
Is it
naman,
Brandon
grabe.
Vera?
Yan na! Gusto niya na lumabas.
Sige,
Isa.
no more clues.
No
Let's
more
introduce our...
He is a former MMA fighter and Brave Combat Federation matchmaker, the owner of 10th Planet San Diego, none other
Ouch.
than Lord Manolo the Hurricane Hernandez.
We
How you
have
guys
a
doing?
Lord in our presence. Hello,
Yes.
This is
Coach.
Bill Crawford. He's
Hi,
the real
Bill.
brains of the operation. That's scary, huh? Yeah,
Well-
well, I mean, I appreciate being on your guys' show. Sorry I'm not Brandon Vera, guys. He's much better looking than me. I
But you're a
disagree.
Lord. Yeah, but you're... But
I think someone opposes that.
He's got better
don't think,
hands than Brandon.
I don't think Bill concurs. Coach, thank you very much for gracing our show. I mean, you've been one of the biggest proponents and movers of women's MMA globally. And we've been very excited for this episode because, as you know, me and Rika, we have this... we have a lot of frustrations when it comes to people investing in women's MMA. And
Right.
we're very fortunate to have you here in our show so that the Filipinos can also see that investing in women's MMA, and we actually have a Filipino-American coach in the United States, specifically you're in San Diego, right? In National
Yes.
City? Yeah, in National City.
We're in San Diego here in Michigan. National City is just where all the Filipinos are.
so you
Yeah.
have adobo there and all the other Filipino.
Yeah, all the good Filipino foods are there.
Great.
They
That's
even
right,
have
yeah.
Goldilocks. I heard that you had Goldilocks nearby.
I go to Goldilocks once a week.
Ooh.
Oh.
What's
So I
your
get my-
favorite Goldilocks treat?
Bansilog.
Bangsilog. Oh, hi to our Goldilocks friends.
Yes.
So, Coach Manolo, we know that you've been, adjusting also with regards to having COVID-19 and having the pandemic in your midst. But let's just go back a bit. How did you get involved in mixed martial arts?
Well, I was involved in kickboxing first, and then eventually, in the 90s, right, 1993, the first UFC happened, and I thought to myself, like, that's so cool. I want to be part of that, you know? And then, you guys, you get a trivia question. Who's the first Filipino to fight in the UFC? First one ever is Onassis Parangao.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I think I
Onassis
heard about
Parungaw.
that.
Yeah, I heard about
Uh-huh.
yeah.
He wore a T-shirt too that says Philippines. So I remember going, "Yay!" Yeah.
See? For the viewers, you learned, we learned something today. We
Yeah.
learned something
There you go.
today. Thank you very much for that trivia, Coach. So
Yeah, you're
that's-
welcome. You can have. Most people think it's like Mark Munoz, you know,
Yeah.
one of those guys. But yeah, but
Onassis
Onassis was the first
Parangao.
one. It was UFC 2. I think.
Oh, wow.
Two?
That's...
Yeah.
What year was that, Coach?
Maybe 3. UFC 3. Yeah.
UFC
It was in
3.
it was in the untelevised portion of the tournament, you know,
Mhm.
which I think you can get if you show DVD, but it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Mhm. What was
What-
his base sport?
What?
What was his base sport? Was he a boxer?
No, one cat caught long. I don't know what that is. I think it's some kind of kung fu or something.
Oh, but who did he go up against?
That's a great question. That's a good question for Google.
Oh, Google it right
I
now.
used to
Okay,
remember it.
to all the viewers, if you know who he was up against with, just comment below and we'll surely
Yes.
want to know who it is. So that was how you got involved in MMA. That's very interesting.
Well, I mean, I really liked it, and then there's a lot of opportunities I had to kind of I'm a big believer in The Secret, right? You know, I kind of put it out in the universe, like this happened, I like this opportunity. And so I went out and I found a jiu-jitsu gym here, and I had a coach that was like part of the Gracies, you know? And then from there I met his best friend who was like more my speed as a coach. So I ended up training under a guy named Carlos Valente, who's also part of the Gracie train. He's the big dude at the end, the only one that doesn't have a tracksuit because he was too big.
Okay. Well, you have come from a very long way since then. I mean, based on the things that, well, you were able to achieve, and we've been following you through all this time.
It's been pretty interesting. It's been an interesting time, you know. I would say that there are a lot of people that are better than me technically. There are people that are better athletes, but then, you know, I've been the Iron Man. I'm the one that's still here, you know.
Longevity.
Yeah.
Well, it helps that you're Filipino because Filipinos, they say they stand the best of time.
Yeah, that's true.
They stand the test of time. So,
yeah.
How did you find it? How did you find MMA initially?
Well, because we saw that we saw that first one. I actually, one of the All Black magazines, I went and I tried to get to become part of the UFC. I tried to go and I tried to compete, and they didn't get back to me till like UFC 8 is when they initially invited me to take part in the David versus Goliath tournament. And then I've basically been lying about how huge I was. I told them I was 6'3". I was like, so basically, you know, in those days, you get a packet to fill out, and they wanted to know everything all the way down to what you were wearing. So then I would send a self-addressed stamped envelope every day. They'd send me back a new package. I'd send a different picture and a different look, and then like I change up what it was I knew because I figured maybe they're looking for a different style or whatever. So there's a bunch of pictures of me in silly outfits somewhere, like hoping to be the next big thing.
Wow, so that's how, well, that was how the audition for the UFC was. It was like a modeling contest.
It was weird,
before.
yeah. Well, they wanted to see the character, like it was more characters, you know? They're more interested in characters. And then so I got a hold of Art Davey. Art Davey was the one that was running it in those days, along with Horian Gracie until Horian kind of gave up the rights and they sold to Semaphore Entertainment Group. And yeah. And then they figured, like, basically they go, all right, send us a video. And I sent the video and they're like, you're like 5'10". And I go, you caught me.
Well, since you said that you played different characters during that time, what was the most interesting one today?
Well, like basically I would take like different looks, like from for instance, one of the looks I sent was Johnny Cage. So I'm just like red sash for no reason and sunglasses with my biker shorts, and you know whatever I could. You know, I sent ones in kung fu uniform, jiu-jitsu uniform, whatever they would look at. And then I would always send it with pictures of me and girls that were tall and skinny. So you get the impression that these women are tall and I'm taller than them, so I must be huge. But I eventually got found out for my Filipino-ness.
Well, I guess it was a double-edged sword for you.
Well, I mean, they didn't let me compete in that. Like that was the only time I was in contact with them as a fighter, right? Was for that event. And so basically they said, well, you're too small to be a David and too big to be a David and too small to be a Goliath. So that was it. That was the end of that. Yeah.
Okay. But that was because of the David and Goliath thing. It's very interesting, Coach. I mean, from doing MMA, and we also know that you've been into doing MMA fights before, and you transitioned from a fighter to being a coach. So what made you decide to be a coach? My
body gave up on me. Like, you know, I mean, everything hurt. And back then, you know, like we're kind of playing by ear as to like what a fighter should do in preparation, right? To get ready for like an MMA event. So there's a lot of misinformation and like wrong training, and you know, I mean, just trying to be just being extremely hard on the body, and it, like, you know, because of that, you know, I had no longevity in that sense.
Yeah, because it wasn't as scientific back then.
Yeah, no, it was not scientific training at all. Like the idea and the concept of like rest, for instance, right? It's like, oh, I don't feel good, maybe I shouldn't go in. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be a pussy and I should go in and practice, you know.
What was the worst thing or the worst practice that you've experienced?
See, the worst thing I've ever seen, dude, I don't know, dude. I've seen a lot of brutal shit. Like, I've seen a lot of broken orbitals, people with their bones taken out. When Liz Carmouche fought Valentina Shevchenko the first time, we were in Oklahoma, and then Liz upkicked her and split her bone deep, like across the forehead. And I go, man, I could really see her bones.
Oh.
And I go, they should probably stop this. And then they did. And that's how we got the TKO victory over her. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Liz Carmouche. She was one of the earliest MMA fighters, female MMA
fighters.
Yeah.
For the UFC, yeah.
For the UFC.
For the UFC 157. This is the one that's backstage at the shows. Yeah. She was in Strikeforce first, which is like eventually got purchased by the UFC. But in between the purchase, it was just kind of dead in the water. And Invicta's matchmaker was the same female matchmaker from Strikeforce. So we're able to like kind of work there. And Invicta gave us a couple fights, and then the opportunity came for the UFC because of Rousey. Our respect to Rousey, because it's because of her and her brashness that people became focused on female MMA, and they have the opportunity to be in the 1% of MMA fighters that can make a living.
That is true. I mean,
That's
was because during the early stages of MMA, I think Dana White even said that he would not even dare put women inside a cage.
But then, Coach, do you think that where do you see the direction of women's MMA going from here on?
I think it's going to continue to do good. I mean, there are some really great, like, it just kind of takes there being a polarizing figure in each weight class, right? I wish they'd pick up the 105,
Yeah, I wonder why. Why isn't there a 105 category?
You would think because they can bring in more people from the rest of the world.
Yeah, from different
Asia,
parts of the world. Yeah.
Good. It's such a interesting interesting phenomenon. What happens, like the interest in each division and each show, and like I think it's crazy. Like in some, like the 145 is really big, right? And then like all of a sudden the 135 has gotten really complacent.
Yeah.
Particularly like in the UFC and like other shows, you don't see that weight class, which is the difficulty I've had in booking people like Liz Phillips, who I manage. A lot of difficulty. Like no one wants that weight class anymore because, like I said, there isn't a polarizing figure in that weight class. So my heat up.
Yeah.
My heat up, yeah.
And for
and there's only quite a few female athletes who are actively training right now as compared to the male. I mean, considering that it has been more than a few years that UFC has taken in women, and the demographic is still very huge. Well,
I hear what you're saying, but there are a lot of women training. There's my buddy.
Is
over
it
here.
because of the weight classes, Coach Manolo? You think? Hi. Hello.
Hi.
And then over here, tell her this girl's gonna be the next big thing.
Wow. Hi.
You're gonna see.
Hi. Maybe she'd want to say hi to her fans in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys want to meet? Do you want to meet Juliana?
Yeah,
Sure.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Juliana.
Hi, Juliana. We're all the way from the Philippines.
Yeah, we're from
Maybe
the Philippines.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to fight over there one day.
Maybe you'd want to say hi to your fans.
Yeah.
Say hi to the Philippines.
So cool. I would love to fight in the Philippines. Okay, so I have a fight coming up. It's actually with Invicta. It'll be on UFC Fight Pass on November 20th this year. So exactly 8 weeks from today.
That's
Okay.
great.
That's great.
Good luck.
Good luck to you.
Excited?
Thank you. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Who will
Normally
you
I
be
get
up
a little
against?
nervous, but this time I'm just like anxious to be out there and finish her already.
When was
I
your
can
last
just
fight?
imagine.
My last fight was a year and 4 months
Oh
ago.
god.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. So now I'm just like really excited.
Yeah, out to kill. Your opponent.
It's funny.
She's
That's
a-
actually my nickname is Killer Miller.
Oh, wow.
You're gonna live
That's
up
quite
to
a
that.
coincidence.
Yeah.
I think you're out for blood right now, given that you haven't been able to train for a very long time.
Yeah. So we were kind of able to train like, just with 1 or 2 people, keeping our distance and everything. But I actually had an injury, so I had to pull out of my last fight. So now I'm like all healthy, ready to go.
Oh, that's really cool. We're really excited to see you once again in the
We're
cage.
excited to
Oh,
Sorry about that.
hi. It's okay.
I have
Thank
a
you.
visit from Coach Eric Del Fiero. Do you know him?
Oh, he's there?
Yeah, people are always coming by to visit me, but they bring his girls to spar my girls,
Oh, that's cool.
so we can have our quiet, friendly rivalry.
See, I mean, I'm not
There are a
sure
lot
if-
of girls.
Look
A
at
lot
this,
of
look at
girls.
this.
Yeah.
This girl right here walking in. That's Elima McFarland.
Oh wow.
Oh,
I'm a fan. Like I'm a huge fan of Elima. Yeah.
Rick, are you trying to do MMA also, or are you just boxing?
I did MMA for a bit, maybe for 2 years. So I trained with Team Lakay in Baguio City.
Oh, I like those
For
guys.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I brought Stephen Lohman to Brave.
Oh yeah.
he used to be the
Yeah.
matchmaker of Brave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. Like, I'm always trying to bring Filipino talent to like any show that can afford it. You know. So we've been having some good times. We had some good times when we were out there.
Yeah, and Stephen has been the champion for almost
Longest
1,000
title
days.
holder.
Yeah.
Yeah, longest title
Yeah.
holder so far. That's Filipino.
That's true.
I'm sure he's
brought
very
him,
grateful.
And then another guy. We used to have a 115 division there, and I brought out another guy named Jomar.
Jomar Paak. Yeah,
Mhm.
from Team Lakay also.
From Team Lakay also.
It's
Oh,
tough,
so
man.
you- So you were
What?
the one who recruited Team Lakay for Brave.
Yeah.
So
But we brought some other guys. You know, it's tough. It's tough anywhere. You know, I'm always worried that they're not going to get treated good. You know, when I bring them to the Middle East, because there's that stuff with overseas workers not being treated well over there. Now it's always a concern of mine. You know.
So you have this sort of like you want to protect them, but at the same time you want.
yeah, he has
I have to give them the-
inhibitions. Yeah.
I have to give them the opportunities, right? You know, if I can give them the opportunities, I absolutely will. You know. So are the gyms not open over there yet?
No, we can't train yet.
They're
Oh, that's
open,
great.
but it's just the commercial gyms. I mean, everything is just up in the air right now.
Wow,
And
sad.
the cases are rising as we speak. So I think the government is just being careful.
I mean, people always say that it's rising. Is it actually rising, or are more people just getting tested? Sometimes, like, there are so many like questions here. We hear about COVID being added to anyone that dies, during the pandemic. Like the moniker of COVID, and so we don't really know what's happening here. It's really fucking weird.
Because it's awfully new, and every time there's something new. That's why, like, even with me as a nurse and someone who practices health and safety, I need to always catch up on webinars, because at first they said it was respiratory and now it's airborne. It's just crazy how it is. And but how is the MMA scene in
This
MMA
is
scene?
Tina Pettigrew.
Hi
Fights
from the
for-
Philippines.
She fights for Invicta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
This is like a star-studded interview. It's not every day when people do podcasts and then you have
Yeah.
Invicta and UFC fighters just going in and out of the
And
podcast.
predominantly women as well.
yeah,
It's like-
San Diego's like that. San Diego, you can go anywhere and then run into there are no famous fighters in San Diego.
Because
You know?
there's quite a lot of fighters, and it's just, would you say that it's like the mecca of fighters there?
I think that San Diego is the mecca, definitely for like jiu-jitsu, and then in turn, like MMA will follow suit. You know, I think it's one of the meccas in the sense that every gym used to brag about, oh, I have a guy from the Ultimate Fighter, or I have a guy from this, and now every gym does. So it's not a big deal at all. You know, especially now that, like, I don't know, I feel like kind of the shows have moved away from working with people that are with a particular management or a particular gym. Now they're like more open to working with people that are from any place, you know. So now, like I said, it's very, you don't really need management anymore, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you can just manage yourself. I've heard about certain fighters who don't get managers. They just get their coaches and then they manage their own careers. I think that,
Yeah,
would you say that's the trend right now?
well, there are still people that need management.
Mm-hmm.
This time right here, bud. And I mean, I feel like the big shows don't really care for management anymore. It just kind of depends too. Some people are just kind of a pain in the ass to work with. When it comes to female shows, a lot of them will call me directly, you know, because I have a pretty good reputation with the shows. Our girls are always on. They're always on weight and ready to go.
Yeah, like I remember you told me sometime that you guys don't actually get ready for a fight because you guys are always ready for a fight.
Yeah, stay ready. You have to stay ready. Any other Filipino overseas worker. You know?
You know how it is. Like when Filipinos go overseas, all we ever do most of the
Working
time
3
is
jobs or
I wasn't. Did you fill out waiver here yet?
No, I probably
Well, it's tough. We do our best here to make it happen, and it's super always important to me to kind of like let people know like my heritage and my culture and stuff. I recently met Robbie Lawler, and I go, hey, I think you're Filipino. He goes, dude, I am like 8% or like a quarter, and he goes, I really like to tell people I'm Filipino, but I really don't know enough about it. I go, but your face is pretty Filipino.
Yeah. He does look very Filipino.
Yeah, right.
So he doesn't really need to go around telling people that he's 8% Filipino because he looks more Filipino than that.
Oh, you know how we are, dude. If people don't claim it, we don't like them.
Oh, well, that is right.
It's true, you know. So it's a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm. And you said also, Coach, that Pearl Gonzalez, right?
Yeah, she's doing commentary in Mississippi.
And that she's part Filipino, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Most people don't.
Yeah, they actually think she's because of her last name. They think she's like Mexican or something because Gonzalez is also.
She's mostly Puerto Rican and Mexican, but she's also like quarter Filipino.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
See, we have so many Filipinos in the
all
UFC.
around.
And it's not just the usual, like it's not just Brandon Vera, it's not just it's not Nover, Mark Munoz. There are also a lot of girls who are not only inside the cage but also doing a lot of work as a commentator in the UFC. So
that's pretty good. Yeah, she's doing work as a commentator on the UFC Fight Pass for a show out in Biloxi. Pretty interesting. Yeah.
It is. I think that's gonna put a lot of hope into Filipino fighters out there who would want to take their luck into the UFC. I mean, we have a lot of good fighters right now. We have Denise Zamboanga, which
is she in the UFC now?
No, she's with one, but she's undefeated in one championship.
Oh, that's good.
So the roster here in Asia is quite pretty good. And well, we'd be very much interested, Coach, to know if you're considering we know you train a lot of fighters and a lot of fighters actually go to you for cross training, especially the women. Would you consider getting your fighters competing in the one championship?
We have a couple that train here and fight for one. One is Savannah M. Sabanari. She's Cambodian.
Oh, the
And she fights
Cambodian
over there.
American, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she trains here with us when she's in San Diego. And then there's one other person. I don't know. We haven't really had like a steady relationship with one, but I mean, we'd like to. We'd like to get it going. It's tough, you know. They're not really. I mean, it's an Asian show. They're reaching out to more Asians, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're here. We're ready to go.
Ready to go.
See?
Yeah. So
shout out to Victor and chat, Reed. Coach Manny is ready to go and join the one championship with his fighter. So that really be interesting, Miga, because it's very rare especially for women in the West going out here competing with with Asian women, and I think that's gonna elevate the fight scene here in Asia because they'd have to step up their game definitely.
Yeah, but I think one problem is the weight categories as well, because we only have atom weight and straw weight. And I think do you have lighter fighters, Coach Malolo, in your roster?
I have working with a girl right now named Lindsay Van Zant. That's her.
Hi.
She contested for the Invicta, or she fights in Invicta. You know, she went against Zapatella not too long ago, and hopefully we'll get another opportunity to go after her now that she's moved out, or she's thinking about moving out here to California.
Oh, great. That's great.
She's adorable, though. Look at her.
Hi.
She's so
I fought for Invicta, Bellator, Ryzen. I went actually fought on the awesome card, the New Year's Eve card against Rena, which was an amazing experience in Japan, and I loved that. That was so much fun. But we're 1-1, me and her now, so we're gonna have to get a rematch again. And go for a star to see who's the real champ, you know?
That's gonna be so cool.
Isn't she adorable? She's adorable, right?
Yes, she's really sweet.
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be a great addition to the one roster because that will really elevate the fight level here in Asia, and people are gonna be forced to up their game.
Not only that, but we see different styles, the Western style of fighting and the Asian style of fighting, because here in Asia we have different martial arts as well, like wushu, we have Muay Thai, so it's just an interesting clash of styles when you bring in the Western fighters in Asia. So I hope Coach, you bring in some of your ladies to fight in Asia.
I mean, that'd be great. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest, like, I haven't been very excited about travel lately because COVID made my butt really wide.
So you'd have to go for business class now.
I guess so, right? It's the worst. So we're about to start our sparring session. So Coach Edgar Fierro's brought his girls. I have mine, and then like our other affiliate gyms throughout San Diego have brought their other athletes down. So we're about to start sparring. What's up? Look at this guy. He looks like Tom Hanks, right?
Wow.
Hi.
Hi.
I think that guy might be Filipino.
Is it?
You Filipino. Yeah.
Close enough.
So would you say that most of the fighters are already back to training?
All the professionals are already doing what they have to do to get back there.
Yeah. Now that one championship and also the UFC has started with their events.
Yeah, Bellator as well. Like you know, there are no audiences or whatever, but I mean, like if we have the opportunity, Invicta as well. Invicta is also they are also running shows with no audience, and then so the one, like, they had a couple already in the past couple months that are doing it inside the church. The church is normally where they do the weigh-ins.
Wow.
So,
Like, is it literally a church that they do?
It's literally a church that was converted by the police for the police athletic games. So when they have kids that are like at risk at risk, and they'll bring them there so they can learn boxing.
Maybe you can share with our Filipino viewers some of the fighters that trained under you.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, let's see that. I mean, I used to train Ken Shamrock. That's how actually me and Bill over here met. Bill, who's my boss, kind of spoke earlier. Bill Crawford. He was a coach for Don Fry during the Pride era of MMA, and I was a coach for Ken Shamrock at the Lions Center. So
wow,
we know each other from that era.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you go way back.
Yeah, really, really way back, all the way back to the Pride area. But yeah, I coach people like Steve Bruno, who's our coach at ATT, 9mm Ed Radcliffe, who was a WEC standout. Because I'm doing an interview. This guy's asking me if I'm selling shorts.
You can do an interview and sell shorts at the same time.
Yeah, we work with a lot of like female-wise, Liz Carmouche, and I worked with, of course, Elima McFarlane, Gonzalez, who is ex-champion as well as contending for the Invicta World title.
Yeah, one day though, we'll have to get some.
That's a very long list of top-level fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. YL Watson, Alex Soto, who was Mexico's first. Go look in the corner over there. YL Watson was a guy a black guy from Egypt, and we got him in the UFC. There's another guy, Alex Soto, who's Mexico's first UFC fighter. He didn't do too good, but he was also my partner at Brave. He's the vice president of Brave for a time. And he was like super influential in bringing both Filipino and Mexican fighters to the Middle East to compete. Let's see. I'll look on the wall. We have all the.
Seems like a very long list of fighters that has been under your stable.
I've been doing it for a while. There's some there, but Mike De La Torre, who also competed in the UFC. Kevin Dunsmore, who's one of the best 125ers in the world. Like a lot of really cool and fun people.
And then we get a free tour inside the 10th planet, San
Diego. Yeah. This is quite an interesting episode. This is the first episode that we've had someone doing a walking tour of us.
Yeah.
Hi.
He's the former coach of Brandon Vera.
Oh.
Brandon Vera.
Hi. Hi from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all the coaches in San Diego, the ones that have been here, we're all really cool. And all the teams are like really, it's mostly the up and coming teams that don't get along with us.
Okay.
But we're the established coaches and we're all cool. And we all pretty much have the same haircut.
Where's the tension coming from, Coach?
Where's what?
Where's the tension coming from?
Oh, up and coming gyms and people that want to kind of challenge the status quo, I guess. But it's not real. COVID has made people really crazy since there are no fights. All right, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot,
I want to be on
Coach.
stomach again. I want to do it again. And I'd love to see you soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
great
you,
day.
Coach.
Miga! I'm still in shock up until now. This was such an experience.
Yes,
I mean, the opportunity to be able to interview two of the most distinguished persons in mixed martial arts. And not only that, our tour of 10th Planet San Diego. Oh my God.
That was very, very
surreal.
Special. Yes.
That was surreal.
Yeah, like all those fighters that we idolize.
Yeah, and also learning a lot from Coach Manolo and the last Donny Elvina.
Yeah, And it gives also our fellow fighters and also our viewers a glimpse of what they can achieve, no, when they stay active. Kumbaga, that's what we learned today. To stay active, to just go for your dreams. It's a ride or die situation for all of us. Talagang we'll never know what's gonna happen tomorrow, so just I don't know.
And I think it's also interesting that two of our guests today were former fighters, and right now they were able to successfully transition their careers.
Yeah.
One as a distinguished coach of UFC and Invicta fighters, of top level fighters. Like what Coach Manolo said, that when there is a promotion like Brave, UFC, Bellator, he's the one to call when it comes to female fighters because they are always ready. And the same thing, I mean,
they're ready, yeah.
Yes, and with the last Don, Donny Elvina, the head honcho or the top honcho of UMC, it's the same thing that he said that he's always ready. He tries to make it a point that he's always ready.
That's a good that's a good lesson to take into heart also for us and for our viewers. There's no like, what if I'm gonna do it tomorrow, or we always have that parang reservation when we want to chase our dreams. But there's no like, you only have to start now. You just need to start and to stay ready and to just
keep
go
at
for
it.
it.
Keep at it. The consistency. So,
totoo.
Because it's not like gonna be a one-way street. It's gonna have its own ups and downs. But then again, it all boils down to the consistency. If you're consistent enough in working towards your goals, your dreams, and I think that's also the key why Coach Manolo and also Donny has been very successful in their chosen fields. So,
and also yun nga we have these people who pave the way for our fighters, for our female fighters, and all kinds of fighters. They're very important in the fight industry. These are the people who make the fights happen, diba? So parang we're really grateful to them for all that they've done for the MMA scene here in the Philippines and in the US.
And for this episode, I would like to thank Intensifier for my baptism of fire.
Yes.
Intensify those flavors. Again, if you want to be able to purchase Intensifier spice meat and spicy sauces, you may visit their FB page, which is Intensifier PH, and their Instagram, which is Intensifier PH as well. For the ones used for this show, it's Fire Flavor 17.
And as shown by my Miga, it's really something that you should try. Dash pa lang yun, Miga, no? A dash, paano pa ako?
So for our viewers for tonight, please repost this video with the hashtag Intensifier, and a lucky winner will receive prizes for our next episode. Okay? Make sure that when you post this video, you put the privacy settings in public so you would be able to see it. Okay? So, thank you very much for joining us tonight in our action-packed back-to-back episode. And we look forward to having more of you. Stay safe, everyone, and have a great week ahead.
Yes. Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Click the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified with our latest videos.